getting off med, I was so it's a pretty large topic, but I was looking at if there is um, some advice, some basic advice. Let's imagine that we have a persona, we have someone who is on meds, right? And it's about basically how can I get started? What
Right.
can I do to actually get started on my journey toward being partially or fully off meat, off medications?
Right. So the first thing I'm going to start with is nothing is all good or all bad. There are times also when we need to prescribe medications for people because they do need, some sort of quick fix while we get to the underlying problem. So getting off meds is definitely a broad subject. What our process, what we do is the first step, and I know it sounds cliche, the first step is recognizing that there's an issue, that you have to get off these meds, that there's something not right, their side effects are wreaking havoc, or your body has gotten used to it to the point where you're physically or mentally addicted to these medications. Neither one of those is a good thing. So, what we do personally in our practice, we do the first and foremost is we do a blood panel where our blood panel doesn't just consist of CBC or typical, we do those as well, but we also do allergy testing and we do hormone testing. The reason we do that is because the a lot of the medications wreak havoc on the vitamin levels of the person, the hormones, the different things inside the body. Plus, it does create and it can also bring out allergies that somebody may have. So allergies are not typically, I don't like to use this term, but it's not typically normal for the body. If you look at somebody who's in factory reset mode, they're not really getting out allergic to things. Even peanuts, it happens to be a very widespread allergy in the US. But we have to look back. Well, we don't start giving our kids, peanuts till they're 4 years old, or whatever the case may be, whatever the doctor's recommending. All these things were set up and designed to get our bodies addicted to things and to get our bodies that we have to have these toxins. We have to rely on the medical system. We have to rely on our doctor. It
Mm.
was never like this. So like I said, the first thing we do is we do a full blood panel. We do allergy testing, hormones, vitamins. We see what all the levels are at. Then we start with the medication list.
Mm.
So the first, step to really, like I said, understanding and getting off medication is understanding that these medications have side effects and that they're not great for your body. So we take the medication list that somebody gives us, we go alongside with their blood work when it comes back, and we go through each thing back and forth and show them how this affected that. This is the side effect of this. This is the side effect of that. People don't know, like Adderall or any narcotic, really, it actually depletes the vitamin D levels. So you have all these people who are walking around like zombies. They're exhausted all the time. Why? They don't have proper vitamin D. And then what do we do further? We sit there and we say, never go out in the sun. Oh my God, it's terrible. How dare you go out in the sun? The sun is horrible. It's going to kill you. No, that's not true. The sun is natural. The sun is very healthy. So those are the two first steps that we do with people, and again, they have to come to us first. We don't go to people and say, look, you look a little pale. Are you okay? You seem a little, lethargic. Are you all right? We let them come to us because the first step is them recognizing that something needs to be done. Then I highly, highly, highly do not recommend cold turkey. The reason for that is because, again, like I said in the beginning, your body took time to build up. It took time to build up all these toxins in the system to function the way it's functioning at this point. And, not to get, religious, but God in his infinite wisdom has made the most unbelievable bio machine that if we just left it alone and had natural fruits, vegetables, and meat and, all the natural resources, we would be fine. It's the chemicals that we add and it's all the other stuff that makes us reliant on the medical system. That's not to say that diseases and viruses and things don't exist, but it's to say that our body can and does fight it off naturally with natural herbs, with natural spices, with natural plants. It does fight things off. So, going into, let's say, something like insulin, what happens with the body? somebody gets diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. I'm not even talking type 1 because type 1 typically they're born with it and that's a whole other story. But type 2 diabetes, typically it's because of years and years of abusing our bodies. We ingest all this stuff. We put chemicals on our bodies. We, do all these things that it basically puts the body out of whack. We also, one of the things that I know a lot of people in my own family are guilty of, we replace things for other things that we think are better without fully educating ourselves. Saccharin, fake sugars, the worst possible thing that you can do for yourself. And it's actually been proven to cause diabetes. Doesn't help diabetes at all. And people don't know this because people, the marketing, they push these brands, they want to make a quick dollar. And I'm not saying that the people who are doing it don't genuinely believe in these products. They do. They think that they're doing a good thing, most of them. You have somebody like, not to get political, but you have somebody like Rockefeller who decided, natural, I can't patent natural and I can't make money off of natural. So therefore I'm going to make synthetics and make natural alternative. That natural's the bad thing. It's not the good thing. So what we do is we bring it back to natural. So you have somebody who has, like, let's say type 2 diabetes, they're insulin dependent at this point because the doctor started prescribing insulin instead of getting to the bottom of what caused the diabetes and helping them fix it so their body can jumpstart again and start making the right amount of insulin. They basically put them on insulin so the body stops producing it itself, because the body's fascinating and amazing and it's an unbelievable biomachine, but it's designed that if it's already getting it somewhere else, it's going to stop producing it itself. We can jumpstart that. We jumpstart that utilizing things such as uh, bitter melon. These are natural vegetables that you find people in India are very familiar with it. It's a very common vegetable there, and you find the lowest incidence of type 2 diabetes because of it. So when we start cooking or we start utilizing these vegetables and these, minerals the way we're supposed to, the body actually can jumpstart and can actually restart the production of insulin. So that's one, example. Another example is hormones. One of the things that we're finding now, a lot of young girls, when they're younger, they get put on birth control. Now, it's a great thing. You're not ready to be a mom. You want to be on birth. That's fine, but you're giving your body hormones that your body naturally produces normally. And you're doing it in order to trick your body. And it does a very good job of tricking your body. So, what ends up happening is hormones take forever to come out of the body, to come out of the system. So, when we have somebody who comes to us, which I actually had 3 women recently who came to us and said, look, I can't get pregnant. I've tried everything. Help me. What can I do? We did the blood panel. We saw that there was elevated hormones that shouldn't be elevated at this time. Medical history showed they were on birth control for many, many years and now decide they want to, it's not going to happen overnight that the body's going to get rid of these hormones.
Mm.
So basically, what we do is we do a detox with them, which includes activated charcoal. It includes certain exercise regimens. And I'll explain in a second why the exercise. But we basically incorporate all these things in order to get the body to jumpstart itself, to regulate its own hormones the right way, the way it's supposed to. A lot of times when people come to us with, whether it's, having issues with having children, conceiving, or having issues with abdominal, their stomach is always hurting them, something's not right. First thing is always detox. And the second thing, excuse me, that we do is we then do we retake the blood, we retake, see how the body is reacting. If need be, we start giving natural hormones. So, what's a natural hormone, you may ask? So, a natural hormone or a natural enzyme would be something like soy. Soy products has a lot of estrogen in it. So, if we want to jumpstart, the baby making process, we may want to give a little extra estrogen. If somebody is cancer, we take away the estrogen because it feeds cancer. So these are just knowing how to utilize the natural resources that we have naturally given to us in abundance. If we want, we can create our own apothecary,
Mm.
in our own backyards. And that's what we train people. So going back to the exercise, the reason why the exercise is so important, weight does have a lot to do with a lot of things. And I'm overweight. I know it, and I'm working on that as well for myself. And, basically what happens is when we have abundance of hormones or we have toxins in our system. And like I said, the body really does get rid of things very easily, very quickly if it's functioning properly. So exercise is a big part of that because it speeds up the metabolism. When we speed up the metabolism, we're able to get rid of toxins from the body much faster because it's basically shuffling it through faster. Plus, you have to keep in mind that a lot of these vitamins and minerals that may even be good for us get trapped in the fat. They're fat soluble. So once we start manipulating that a little bit, you'll start to see all of a sudden a big jolt of vitamin D. I had one patient, it was actually very interesting. She said, I don't know what you did. I don't know what's going on, but all of a sudden I have energy. And I started laughing. I said, it's not what I did, it's what you're doing. You're walking now. You're getting up, you're going out, you're doing things with yourself. You're taking off the sunscreen. And she was like, oh, she's like, okay, then it's all me. And I was like, there you go. So it's just, we try to get people to take pride in what they're doing and how they're doing it.
Mm.
So this way they'll continue to do it. Because if they think it's all me that's doing it for them, what happens when I'm not available one day or what happened, so they have to understand that they're the ones doing it. All we're doing is giving them the tools to succeed.
Awesome. Cool. I want to come back a bit on how people get started on their journey to getting off med. So you mentioned that you're not reaching out to the people, you wait for them to come to you, right? But for some people who don't know where to get started, would you have some advice, or where can they go? What should they look for if they want to start their journey on getting off med?
And that is a very good question because there are a lot of phonies out there. The one thing that I would recommend, and they're welcome to come to our website, www.natural-escapes.com, and they can sign up with us and we can do the whole medication management. We could do all that with them. Um, but what you want to look out for is you want to look for somebody who either they're a naturopath, it's called, like a doctor that basically learns natural medicine. It's not really brand new, but it's very up and coming right now. You also do have to look out for anybody who will recommend you to replace one toxin for another. So what I mean by that is somebody who will, um, like the diet foods,
Okay.
oh, well, you can't have sugar, you should have the fake sugar. No, don't tell me that you know, tell me to cut down on sugar. Don't tell me to replace it with a poison, with something synthetic. So those are the types of things. And a lot of mainstream medicine, so to speak, they have to follow these rules because otherwise they get in trouble. So you have to watch out for that because if it's a mainstream doctor, not a DO, not a naturopath, they have to follow those rules. A lot of times, what I find is if you find someone who has amazing word of mouth, that's how we kind of operate. It's word of mouth because people really appreciate the service that we provide. They will then recommend to their friends, their family, you know what, you should speak with Danielle. She knows everything. She knows what's going on.
Mm.
She's able to, really get a look inside the body. So the main thing is really seeing who's recommending you and who they're recommending you to. And then it's really trusting our intuition. We've been trained over the years to ignore the inner voice inside of us and just listen to the quote experts. It's not. You are an expert on your body. And I tell all my patients this. I don't know your body as well as you do. You've had 20 plus years, 30 plus years to get to know yourself. I'm learning about you in 5 minutes. So the main thing is really to trust your intuition. If something doesn't feel right, I'll give an example. I went to a doctor, a mainstream doctor, and I'm getting off Adderall right now. I tried cold turkey, and that's why I say I don't recommend it because it's horrible. It really wreaks havoc on my body. That's actually I gained a lot of weight recently. I'm trying to get off it. I went to this doctor because he has to wean me off, and basically he kept trying to push heart meds on me. My heart is fine. They try to trump up these things so that way they, can push more medication, they can make more money. And he's a great guy, don't get me wrong. He was a very sweet doctor. Every time I took the medication that he was trying to give me, because at first I'm like, oh my God, let me try it at least. I would get horrible stomach aches. One of them actually made me violently ill. And he kept saying, well, try a little bit at a time, basically get your body used to the poison. And
Yeah.
I said, why would I do that? I'm listening to my body. My body is saying this medication's not good for me. We stopped doing that a while ago, and we have to start doing that again. So that's the first step, is listening to your body, recognizing the toxins, the poisons, and then you can search out somebody like me or somebody, a naturopath that can really guide to the right path.
Mm. Okay, listening to the body, yeah, very good advice. And at what stage usually you see people coming toward or asking themselves, well, should I find a solution for getting off med? Is it usually at the stage where they can't stand it anymore, that they have been basically like they're already in a bad state and they really need to get off that? Are they waiting too long usually?
So a lot of times, I won't say too long, but they are waiting a long time. I can't tell you how many times I've heard the phrase, "Oh, I tried everything. You're my last resort." Well, why should I be your last resort? But
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes, sometimes it takes that much. Look at our everyday. I'm sure you've had experiences like that as well, where you search and search and search for an answer, and it's like finally you're like, okay, I'm just going to try that. Everyone's been telling me to do this. I'm just going to try it finally, and that's the one that works. My favorite saying is, it's in the last place I looked. Well, if you found it, would you keep looking? It's like so. That's basically what it is. It's people have to come to that realization on their own. It's like alcoholism, it's like any other addiction. We're addicted to food, we're addicted to poisons, we're addicted to this way of life. We're
Mm,
addicted to it. And it doesn't happen overnight. I actually just wrote an article, it's on our website, where it explains how gut health is so important to the human body. When we're a baby, or even before that, when our moms are pregnant with us, what do? They eat natural. They don't take medications. They don't take vaccine. They don't take any of this stuff. Why? Because we're basically a clean slate. Then what happens? We come out 2 months, 3 months, we're nursing, hopefully, or, getting some sort of hopefully healthy formula, something. And there are a lot of people actually I found out in New York, New York, New Jersey area, they pay a lot of money actually for midwives, for healthy midwives, because they know they're not healthy. They know they can't, breastfeed their child healthy, so you can keep to that healthy regimen because it's difficult. So they get, midwives and people like, I'm sorry, wet nurses that can basically nurse their babies with healthy milk. So what does that mean? So basically, we sit there. All of a sudden, we get to, maybe I'll say, I'll give the benefit of the doubt, 2 years old. 2 years old, suddenly we start with tremendous amount of vaccines, tremendous amount of medications, foods. We call it real food. It's not necessarily real foods.
mm,
So one of the things actually, that one of the programs that we run is, we call it the reset. So I even do it for myself. Whenever I get really bad stomach aches for a long period of time, I actually will only have baby food for a while. Where I will sit there and I will have even those puffs. I forgot what they're called, but they're like Gerber puffs or what. I will just have those for a while because I need to basically factory reset my body and go back to that natural state of everything was healthy. We look, a bottle shouldn't have PBA in it, BPA, whatever it's called. So like, these are chemicals that we take for granted that we don't want our baby having, but then we start ingesting as we get older. Or how easy is it for a working mom? And it's very difficult. I'm not going to say, I'm not belittling anybody, they're working, to just sit their kid in front of the TV and have some, machine made chicken nuggets. They're
mm,
not looking at the ingredients. They're just, okay, shut them up, and it's easier that way. And for our mental health as mothers, sometimes it's necessary. But it's really at a point where, this should be a lifestyle change from an early age. However, it's understandable that people will use us, people like me, as a last resort. That I feel terrible. No doctor's able to diagnose. Again, why can't a mainstream doctor diagnose? Because half the time they're actually causing the problem. A lot of times when we get people off of medication, a lot of those side effects and the symptoms go away. And people don't understand that until they feel it. My own sister, by the way, I love her dearly, love my family very much. She actually mocks me for every time I tell her, come to me, I will help you. I will help you out, with weight loss, with different things. I'm very good. I can help other people, great, all these things. And she finally called me, I want to say maybe 2 weeks ago, and she said, okay, I'm ready. She's like, now what? What do I do? And I'm looking and go, okay, I said, great. So we started on a regimen and we're going through the different things. She called me 2 days after we started the regimen, we started the detox, and told me, I never realized how sick I felt until I started feeling better. And I said, you're welcome. And that was it. We just go through all the different stuff. And again, people shouldn't use us as a last resort, but they do, and that's fine. And then there are those that all along they've always been healthy, but they want that extra help. So they reach out to people like us, which is fine also. And we're there for you, and that's really the bottom line. I don't care how many people have said to me, mocked me, made fun. Oh, yeah. Oh, what was my son's friend yesterday, 2 days ago, called me a witch doctor. I said, thank you. I take that as a compliment.
Exactly.
Yeah, but he's also, he's been through his fair share. He had cancer at a young age, and he's been through his fair share, and he's not ready yet. And and I'm fine with that. But people out there have to just know that we are here. No hard feelings. We don't care what you've done in the past or what you've called us or what you've said. We're always here for you no matter what. And that's how I personally like to operate. And everyone in my network, pretty much likes to operate that we're always here.
Okay. In terms of transition from getting off from being inmates to getting off mates, how does that transition usually happen for people? Do we switch partially, or do you switch fully right away? How does that look like?
We try to do it as more of a gradual,
Gradual?
at least in
Okay.
my practice. What was that?
No, no. Go ahead.
Oh. So we try to do it as more of a gradual. Again, nothing happens overnight. And this idea of instant gratification is something that, just as much as we try to get them off the medications, we try to get them out of that frame of mind as well. Because you didn't gain 200 pounds overnight. You're not going to lose 200 pounds overnight. Like, it doesn't work that way. And if you are losing 200 pounds overnight, I would make sure your liver is still functioning afterwards. Because whatever they gave you, whatever it is. But the whole thing is that we do everything gradually. So again, the same thing like with Adderall. I've been on Adderall since, I want to say, for about 15 years now. And I never realized slowly I was adding dose, upping the dose constantly, and it stops working. But the side effects don't go away. Unfortunately, I wish we got immune to the side effects also. The side effects didn't go away, and the side effects actually kept getting worse. So basically, what I ended up trying cold turkey, my body went into shock. It was really bad. So what ended up happening, I went to this doctor. He started, 20 milligrams, 15 like really slowly going down. And that's how we kind of look at it with any hormones, with any medications, to stop cold turkey. And that's one of the things I told those three ladies who came to me for help with fertility. Stopping the hormones and stopping the birth control overnight was not the best thing, because your body then doesn't know to kickstart. And so you're going without for a while. And that's not good, because that's not homeostasis inside of your body. So basically, what we do is, as much as we're happy to see people get off medication, again, we will prescribe as needed due to that fact, because we're looking at the individual. We're not looking at the group. I'm not looking at this group of people I'm looking at this person, their blood work, their, medication list, all of their stuff. And I go through that one by one, and we weed everything out until eventually the process could take 2 months, depending what the medication is, or it could take 2, 3 years. It really all depends on the medication and the person and the reactions they're getting. Because some people will react better to weaning off and their body will kickstart and it'll be fine. Some people, their body may hold on to it a little bit stronger or have been more addicted, depending on the amount of time also they were on it or how their body adapted to it. So we do really case by case basis.
Okay. So all in all, I do sense that people go toward medication as they see that as a solution. It has also been marketed by the pharmaceutical industry as the Saint Graal, basically the only solution and the thing that's working for you. But it seems that a lot of people are not really aware of what their body can do, right? So would you mind taking us a bit through this overview of your understanding of how capable uh, the body is actually to heal, right?
So I'll tell you, since I started on this more natural, I grew up with a mother who was more holistic. She was more into natural, but she did follow the mainstream. She did. You had a headache, you take an aspirin, kind of thing. And she would go with all those things. Um, for myself, I was always one of those people that my body would just naturally heal itself. So I'll give you one example. I don't know if you could see this mark
Yeah.
on my arm. That was actually cancer, and I was diagnosed with cancer. My doctor was, "Oh my God, you have to go see this doctor, oncologist, all these different things." And in my mind, I kept thinking, I really don't want to go on chemo. I don't want to go on radiation. I don't want to be picked apart piece by piece. I just don't want that. Like it was not something that was um in thrilling for me to
Mm.
feel,
Oh,
go
no.
through. And also I was already on this more natural, naturally. I finally ended up a few months later going to the oncologist, and the oncologist looked at me and goes, "The cancer's gone." I said, "What do you mean the cancer's gone?" And he explained to me. He goes, "Look," he goes, "the body," and I knew this before a little bit, but he went into more detail. He goes, "The body has cancer cells every day, all day. We always have cancer. The body fights it. The body will fight off the cancer, will, do what it has to do, and it'll regulate itself." And I looked at this and I said, "Oh my God," I said, "that is the body in action." That was a perfect example of how when you start becoming more natural and becoming healthier and start incorporating certain fruits and vegetables, and different herbs and things into your diet, all of a sudden, like I stopped with Burger King. I stopped with all the what I consider junk, because it's mostly plastic. So it wreaks havoc on the body. So it wreaks havoc on the body's natural filtration system. So your body can not only cure itself from a cold, well, the cold is actually the cure, but it can cure itself from viruses, even bacteria, because we have good bacteria. If you have a natural flora of the good bacteria will actually fight off the bad bacteria, believe it or not. It's really cool. So it's very fascinating how the body works. But basically, the body can even fight off something as major as cancer. I'm not saying that somebody shouldn't go for help if they have cancer, if they think they have something major going on with their body. I'm saying that there are natural ways to take care of it. And there are better things other than taking a poison, hoping that the poison kills off the bad cells before it kills you. And that's where I have an issue. Chemo in and of itself, and I'm not promoting or, dissing anything, chemo in and of itself has been proven to not be effective for cancer at all. Like, I don't know why they still push it. I don't know why they still peddle it, but it's actually been known to not be effective. What has been known to be effective, and this is why they pretend like, oh, this is for the pain, this is for after. THC, marijuana, has actually been known to cure cancer. So all of a sudden, you'll see somebody who's been on chemo for years, and suddenly they take the marijuana for pain, of course, and suddenly they go into remission. You have other things such as infrared light, oxygen therapy. These things are all things that will help to fight cancer, even. Just getting off estrogen. So we don't realize how much estrogen is in our foods. Estrogen feeds cancer. So I'm using cancer as an example just because it was close to home for me. But basically, that's what ends up happening. So when the second you hear cancer, right away, you should be cutting out soy. You should be cutting out certain products in your diet because it's not healthy for the body and it's feeding the cancer. So, what else? There's fertility, right? The body is naturally meant to, I mean, women used to be in the fields. They would get pregnant, they would be, work in the fields, feel the baby coming, they would get down on all fours. What do we do now? We start, doping up the women with medications. And then we say, oh, failure to progress, we have to cut the baby out of you. Well, no, the body's meant to do this. Like, don't tell me, and midwives are actually, and home births are actually very popular now because of that, because people are getting away from, this modern medicine and this surgery. People don't want to have to go through surgery unless they absolutely have to. So I was actually talking with this nurse. She works in one of the local hospitals in New York. And she was telling me how with her, everyone was laughing at her because she works in a hospital. She was having a home birth. And everybody was laughing at her. Everybody was, oh, what are you doing? I can't believe you're doing something like this. This is insane. This is crazy. She said, and even the midwife had told her, had she been in the hospital because it took a long time, they would have induced her and they would have ended up cutting the baby out of her. And she said, thank God I was home. I was in the comfort of my house and I was able to take my time and do it the right way. Squatting down instead of laying on your back, which, if you think about it, it's kind of anticlimactic. It's, kind of goes against nature, but like, you're expecting to, I don't know. But bottom line is basically, what we have to do is we have to really start listening to our bodies, and we have to just, know when the time is right for us.
Mm. Awesome. That's valuable information, really. Thanks for that, Danielle. Definitely. All right. So if the people want to reach out to you specifically, where can they contact you?
Sure. So we have a website. It's www.natural-escapes, plural.com. So they can come and they can, reach out there. I can give you the number of the office. It's 346-309-1207. They can text, they can call anytime. We do also offer free, well, covered through insurance massages and other kind of holistic things that wouldn't normally be covered. We are actually working on a wellness center right now. So we will have a place where people can come to get oxygen therapy, infrared therapy, cryotherapy, things like that, that help the body to rejuvenate and regenerate. And we also are working on an insurance that will cover holistic medications and holistic treatments. So this way, we basically circumvent the modern medicine.
Yeah, it's good to create a global package for that, and as well as build community in different services. That's really the way to go, especially in the current context, right? Yeah, you need to. Okay, perfect,
Yeah,
Daniel.
well, we're looking to help as many people as we can. And again, we can't force anybody. So we wait for people to come to us, but once they do, we know they're willing, we know that they're ready for the treatments that we provide, and we're so happy to do it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Daniel. That was really great.
Thank you.